Okay, my dear children, this is the one of the most important subject, science. Okay, in this science we are going to be identified three branches. Okay, the first one is chemistry, second one is physics, and the third one is biology. Okay, please look at the board, children. The topic name is respiration in organisms. Means this topic it includes in the branch that is the biology. Okay, yes, let me continue. So before going to start the lesson, I would like to give a small introduction regarding the lesson. Children, you have seen several things surrounding of you in your daily life. Okay, if you list out all those things, okay, trees, leaves, table, chair, fan, human beings, plants, animals, all together you have to list out the things. Okay, and after that list out, you have to bifurcate those into two categories. Okay, the first one is living things. Second one is non-living. You have to bifurcate into living and non-living things. Now, what is the question? What are the living things? Yes, let me say the living things means the things which have life in them. We are going to be prefer those as a living things. Example, human beings, plants, animals. Okay, next, second one, non-living things. The things which they don't have life in them, we are going to be called those as the non-living things. Example, piece of chalk, chair, table, fan, light, etc. These are the examples for the non-living things. Now, we understood the meaning of the living things and as well as the non-living things. Now, the question is, how we have to bifurcate these two categories? On what basis? Yes, only on the basis of the characteristics we are going to be divided the things into two categories. Those are living and as well as the non-living things. Now, what are those characteristics? My dear children, in the 6th standard, you learned about this. Okay? Just I am going to say the topic name, the living organisms, characteristics and the habitat. In that lesson, you had studied the characteristics of the living organisms. Based on these characteristics, we are going to be bifurcate the living and as well as the non-living things. Okay. So, what are those living characteristics? Yes, let me say one by one. Okay. So, the organisms need a food. The organisms shows growth. The organisms respire. The organisms respond to stimulus. The organisms excrete. The organisms reproduce of their own kind. The organisms move. Okay. These are all the characteristics we are going to be identified in the living organisms. I hope you understood. Okay. So, why I am going to say this? Yes, there is an intention. What is that? What is the topic name? Respiration in organisms. Respiration. This is one of the most important process in the life processes. It has been held in the plants and as well as the animals. Okay. So, respiration also it is one of the most important characteristics we are going to be identified in the living organisms. Okay. Yes. This is the very small introduction regarding the lesson. Now, what is this respiration? Yes, before going to know about the meaning of the respiration, my dear children, me and you people, we all together, we have to watch one video. Okay, just to watch that video very carefully, you understand what has been going in that video. Okay, what is the concept there in that video? You are going to be understanding. Okay, so that once again I am requesting you, my dear children, please watch that video very carefully. Okay, yes.
Hi Bojo.
Hi Dolly,
How are you?
I am fine. What about you?
Yeah, good. I did not see you yesterday. Where you went?
I went out of station yesterday. So,
I'm very bored yesterday because you weren't there for playing.
is it?
Yeah.
So morning I remembered I want to play with my Dolly, my
Is
friend.
it?
Yes. So that I carried the volleyball.
I'm very glad to play.
Yes.
Shall we play?
Yes. Why not? You can start. Let's start now.
Yeah.
Yes. Just catching the ball. Okay. Yes. Fast, very fast, fast. Fast, fast, fast. Fast. Very good. You throw away. Come on. Come on, come on. Oh,
I'm very tired, Bojo.
I too get.
I can't breathe properly.
I too. So sad.
What happened?
My uncle is coming by the Bangalore. I want to bring him. I forgotten.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Is he coming by bus?
Yes,
And it's already time up. I think you need to go now.
yes. I want to go for a bus stand.
You go, go. Go first. It's already time up.
Okay, later we can play. Okay. If you
Sure.
have work, you can finish it early. I will come back.
Okay, okay, Bojo.
Okay, bye,
Take
bye,
care.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Uncle, sorry, uncle. I got late.
Why do you breathing so fast?
I came by running so that.
Oh yes, you are running by. So
When
you
did you
got
come?
tired.
When
Okay.
did you come by
Now
the
I
Bangalore?
came. Let's go to home now.
Yes, we can. Oh, I am getting tired. Why it happening for the human being after the running?
You came running now,
Ah,
so you got breathing so fast.
yes, yes, uncle. Okay, I will take the rest. You can cut. Let's move. Let's move. Come on.
Okay, my dear children, I hope you watched the video. Okay, so in that video, we are going to be understand only one of the most important concept, that is breathing. Okay, breathing. They raised a question there. How we are going to be breather faster when we are running after doing some of the heavy works. Okay, this question arises in their mind. So that in this lesson we are going to be studying in a deep about the concept, that is the breathing. Okay, so the topic name is respiration, but I am going to say here breathing. Yes, my dear children, breathing, it is one of the most important concept. This is a part of a respiration. Okay, I hope it's clear. Once again I am going to repeat, breathing is a part of a respiration. Okay, so children, I hope you understood what is that breathing. Let me continue, let me say in detail about the breathing and as well as the respiration. Okay, so my dear children, look at the board. The first in the objectives we had already we knew about the introduction. Okay, now let me continue. The second point, what is that? Why do we respire? Is it necessary to respire all the organisms? Yes, we have to respire it necessarily. How? Yes, let me say one by one. Okay, so my dear children, in a lesson number 2, in a 7th standard, in a lesson number 2, I think you might have studied about the small microscopic units. What are those? In the small microscope units, we are going to be called it as cells. Okay, in the chapter number 2, you had studied about the cells. Okay. What are these cells? Yes, cells are the structural and functional unit of a life or organism. We are going to be called that as a cells. Okay. Now, what are the functions has been held through these cells? Yes, let me say several functions has been held from these cells in our body or in our organisms. Okay, so in our body, okay, nutrition, transportation, excretion and reproduction, all these are some of the activities they are going to be performed by these cells. My dear children, along with these activities, okay, in our daily routine work, we are going to do several works. Okay, writing, reading, okay, running and jumping, sleeping. We are cooking the food. We are watching the TV. Okay, all these are all functions they are going to be held in our daily life. Okay, in our daily life we are going to be perform all these activities. Who are going to be perform all these activities? Only the cells. Okay, these cells, they are going to be perform all these activities. Now the question in our mind, how do these cells perform all these activities? Where they are getting energy? Okay, definitely the question arises in your mind. Okay, to do any work, you are going to be get some of the energy, right? Okay, unless and until if you won't get the energy, you are not capable to do the works. But these cells, they are performing several functions, several activities. How it is possible? Yes, definitely these cells, they are getting the energy. My dear children, just you remind in your mind, okay, can you say why your parents insist you every day you have to eat the food regularly? Why your parents insisting you? Yes, because of that only the reason you have to get a energy from the food. Okay, so what happened here? From this stored food, energy is going to be released in the respiration process. So the living organisms, all the living organisms, they are going to be respire with the release of the energy. I think you understood my point. Okay, so this respiration, all these organisms, they are going to be respire. How we are going to be respire? Yes, I already told you, breathing is a part of the respiration. While breathing, just you listen, just you look at me. Okay, just I am going to be breathing now. Means I am going to take a air and I am going to give out the air. Okay. Means I am going to take a in air and I am going to give a air. Okay. So while taking in air, we are going to be take, that is called as an oxygen. Okay. We are going to be take inside oxygen and we are giving out in terms of air, that is carbon dioxide. Okay. So we are taking oxygen inside. Because of this oxygen, it can transport it to all parts of our body through the cells. Okay, to all parts of the body for the cells. This oxygen is going to be transported. What I am going to say, the oxygen we are going to be taking inside. Okay, this helps to break down the food. How it can help? Yes, that is one of the most important process, that is the respiration. Means what we are going to be take oxygen inside. That oxygen, okay, it can helps to break down the food in the cells with the release of the energy. Okay, with the release of the energy, we are going to be call that process as an cellular respiration. What is that? Cellular respiration. Okay, so I have written here, my dear children, this is the cellular respiration. Once again I am going to repeat the statement regarding the cellular respiration. The process of breakdown of a food. Okay, process of the breakdown of the food in the cells with the release of energy, we are going to be called that as a cellular respiration. I hope it's clear, my dear children. Means in the cells, the food is going to be break down with the help of the oxygen. Got it? So now we understood the cellular respiration. Now I had written here aerobic respiration and the anaerobic respiration. What is this aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Yes, let me say, my dear children. First we are going to be dealing with this aerobic respiration. Okay, so aerobic means the process of respiration. It's going to be take in presence of oxygen, or the breakdown of a food in presence of oxygen with by releasing carbon dioxide, water and energy. This whole process we are going to be called that as an aerobic respiration. I hope it's clear, my dear children. Okay, so aerobic respiration means the breakdown of a food in presence of oxygen with the release of carbon dioxide, water and energy is called as an aerobic respiration. Okay, just I am giving all this, the whole statement in one equation. How it is? Yes, let me say. Okay, so my dear children, just I am written equation here. The whole statement we are going to identify in this statement. Okay, the process of breakdown of a food nothing but here glucose. Okay, the food is going to be break down in presence of oxygen with the release of carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, this process we are going to be called as an aerobic respiration. What we are going to be called? Aerobic respiration. I hope it's clear, my dear children. Okay, let me continue. What is the second type of the cellular respiration? The second type is anaerobic respiration. Okay, before going to see the meaning of the anaerobic respiration, I would like to give some of the points. Okay, I think children in our surrounding, okay, some of the organisms they are going to be survive without oxygen or without air. Okay, those are we are going to be called that as an anaerobes. What we are going to be called? Anaerobes. Okay, anaerobes. Yes, anaerobes means the organisms they are going to be survive in the absence of air. We are going to be called those as an anaerobes. What are the examples for this? Yes, yeast. Yeast are the examples for the anaerobes. Okay, what are the characteristics of these yeasts? Yes, let me say. The yeast, they are going to be respire anaerobically because we already knew that these are anaerobes, means they do not depending on the oxygen. That's why these yeast, they are going to be respire anaerobically. This is the first point. Second point, these yeasts, these are single-celled organisms. Okay, so my dear children, microorganisms and macroorganisms, unicellular and multicellular organisms. You are already familiar with all these words. Unicellular means a single-celled organisms. Okay, so these cells, yeast cells, they are yeast organisms. They are single-celled organisms. This is the second characteristic. What is the third characteristic? Okay, these yeasts, after the respiring anaerobically, they yield alcohol. They yield alcohol. Okay, after the respiration, they are going to be yield. They are going to be produced. That is alcohol. That's why, for this purpose only, we are going to be use these yeasts in preparing beers and wines. Okay, so we are going to be use these yeasts in preparing the wines and as well as the beers. These are the some of the important points we are studied about the yeast. Okay, so let me continue. Why I am going to set this yeast anaerobes? Yes, definitely the relation is for the anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration means the breaking down of a food in the absence of air gives alcohol, carbon dioxide and water. Sorry, alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. That whole process we are going to be called that as an anaerobic respiration. Okay, my dear children, just I am going to give that whole statement in one equation, that is, okay, glucose we are considering as a food. Okay, the food is going to be break down in the absence of air, means in the absence of oxygen, gives alcohol, energy, and also the carbon dioxide. Okay, this is the equation we are going to be preferred for the process, that is the anaerobic respiration. I think it's very clear for you, my dear children. Okay, so let me continue. My dear children, we have seen several cells in our body. Okay, so in our muscles, we are going to be identified the cells. Sometimes, okay, in some cases, these muscle cells, they are going to be respire anaerobically. How it is? Yes, some of the muscle cells, they are going to be respire anaerobically in a short duration or in a sometimes. Why it happens? Yes, it happens because of only the temporary deficiency of the oxygen. At that time, the anaerobic respiration takes place. Yes, my dear children, let me give some of the examples. What are those examples? Yes, just you are going to be running in the early morning. Okay, just you are going to be brisk walk. Okay, jumping, skipping, weightlifting. Just to consider all these activities. Okay, in these activities, you are going to be feel tired. Why you are going to be feel tired? Because of the temporary deficiency of the oxygen. Means, what I am going to say, these all the activities, they are demanding the heavy energy. Means, they are going to be demand the higher energy, but the supply of oxygen to produce the energy is very limited. That's why you are getting tired. Okay, so that's why these muscle cells, they are going to be respire anaerobically sometimes. Okay, so when we are going to be see this? Yes, at this time when the muscle cells, they are going to be start respire anaerobically, they are going to be give some of the food. What is that? Just I am going to write here. Children, please look at the board. The breakdown of a food, glucose, in the absence of air. Okay, in the absence of air. Okay, that yields a lactic acid and energy. Okay, instead of carbon dioxide and water, we are getting here a lactic acid and energy. Why? What happened here? Yes, at that time, what happened in our muscle cells? I think you might have felt many times. Okay, immediately you are going to be stunned like this. Oh, what happened here? Stuck to here. Okay, so sometimes in our body, the muscle cells, they are going to be cramped. Okay, mole sedata. In Kannada, we are going to be called that as a mole sedata. Okay, why it happens? Muscle cramps. Yes, the muscle cramps, it only causes because of these muscle cells, they are going to be respire anaerobically and they are going to be yield a lactic acid. Okay, so what I am going to say, the partial breakdown of a glucose, they are going to be produce a lactic acid. Okay, this accumulation of lactic acid, it causes a muscle cramps in our body. Okay, we are going to be see those muscle cramps in our body when the lactic acid produce. Then how we are going to be recover from this muscle cramps? Yes, there is one suggestion, there is one treatment. What is that? Okay, so just you have to take a hot water bath or you have to take a body massage. Okay, with the help of these two works, you are getting relief from the muscle cramps. Just to feel it, just to observe it. I think you might have experienced it. Okay, when you are getting more tired, you are going to be take a bath with a hot water. Okay, after a few minutes, you are going to be realized yourself, you are feeling comfort. How you are going to be feel comfort? Yes, there is a reason. What is that? So when you could have taken hot water bath, okay, or from the body massage, okay, the supply of oxygen to all parts of the body, it can be reaches, okay, the supply of oxygen, it can be reaches to all parts of the body along with the cells. That's why you are going to be relieved after taking the hot water bath or from the body massage. Okay, what is the mechanism happened here? Yes, let me say. So, the increase of oxygen, okay, the increase of oxygen, it going to be gives a result here, a reliefness, means it going to be relief, it going to be give a more relief for your body. So, this the supply of increase in oxygen, it going to be spread out in all our body for each and every cell. Okay, at that time what happened? The increase of oxygen, it helps for breakdown of completely breakdown of the lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. I hope it's very clear for you, my dear children. Okay, so when we are getting relief after hot water bath or after a body massage, we are going to be relieved because the blood circulation in our body it going to be move in a correct manner. Means what I am going to say, the supply of oxygen in the blood circulation, it can be reaches for each and every cell of the organism. Got it? That's why we are feeling comfort. Along with that, what happened? The increase of oxygen, okay, that helps to break down a completely lactic acid into carbon dioxide and the water. Okay, so immediately when the release of the carbon dioxide and water, immediately you are going to be feel very relieved. Okay, that's why though these muscle cramps, it can happen sometimes in our body when our muscle cells respire anaerobically. Okay, my dear children, I hope you understood all these points. Okay, so in this session we had studied about regarding the introduction and we had watched one the video regarding the breathing concept, and after that we understood the meaning of the cellular respiration, aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, and also last but not least, that is the muscle cramps. Okay, how you are going to be get relief from the muscle cramps means you have to be take a hot water bath or you can treat it as a body massage for your body. Okay, so by saying these points, I am going to conclude this session. Okay, in the tomorrow's session we are going to be studied the further details about the respiration. Okay, so let me stop here, my dear children. I am going to requesting you, please you interact with the reading and as well as the writing. Along with that, you have to drink plenty of water in a day. Okay, thank you, my dear children.